So welcome back to some more theories that'll make you question everything. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Check them out.
All right, your question, where did God come from, assumes that you're thinking of the wrong, obviously it displays that you're thinking of the wrong God, because the God of the Bible is not affected by time, space, or matter. If he's affected by time, space, or matter, he's not God. Time, space, and matter is what we call a continuum. All of them have to come into existence at the same instant, because if there were matter but no space, where would you put it? If there were matter and space but no time, when would you put it? You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence simultaneously. The Bible answers that in 10 words. In the beginning, there's time. God created the heaven, there's space, and the earth, there's matter. So you have time, space, matter, created a trinity of trinities there. Just, time is past, present, future. Space has length, width, height. Matter has solid, liquid, gas. You have a trinity of trinities created instantaneously. And the God who created them has to be outside of them. If he's limited by time, he's not God. The God... All right, your question, where did God...
That's interesting, because I always thought that time wasn't a factor when you speak in terms of space and things like that. I was always under that impression. Maybe I was wrong in that aspect of it, but it was pretty interesting how he tied that into everything, using the Bible and the creation of the world to explain what he was saying. In the beginning, God created, and linking all those together. But yeah, for me, I always thought time was a non-factor.
Veganism is a massive end times deception from the devil. And if you're not eating enough meat, you're causing your brain to deteriorate. Watch this. We're starting with the Bible in Timothy chapter 4. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which God hath created to be received, for every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused. This is from New York Times. Eat less red meat, scientists said. Now some believe that was bad advice. So meat contains a fatty acid called DHA, and our brains are extremely rich in fat. About 2/3 of the brain is fat. 20% of that fat is DHA. DHA insulates our brain circuits and also helps to keep the brain safe from unwanted outside influences, like the you-know-what. Now for those who chose vegan diets, it is important to know that plant-based foods contain no DHA. Study found that people with the DHA deficiency contributed to diminished cortisol circuit development, which was observed in patients with major psychiatric disorders. Plant-based diets can stunt brain development and cause irreversible damage to a person's nervous system. And the Royal Academy of Medicine also decided that a vegan diet was unsuitable for children, and parents who forced a vegan diet on their offspring may find themselves in prison. Your brain needs animal fat. Nehemiah chapter 8. Then he said unto them, Go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet. The Bible never lies. This is Genesis chapter 9. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Every moving thing. Do your research before you hop on some stupid trend. Like and follow for more. Veganism.
Listen. He really woke me up with that one. But at the same time, my pushback would be, you know what my pushback would be? The meat back then is totally different from the meat today. The meat is what these cows are eating. You know what I mean? All these different injections and different things that's in the meat nowadays is the problem. I don't think it's the meat. It's what's the cow either is eating, and the different pesticides and different things that are in the plants and different things that the cow is eating, or the injections into the meat. That's the problem. I bet if we went back to a simpler time when all this stuff wasn't happening to the meat, to the cows, to the different things, and we were eating it back then, I bet we wouldn't have these issues. We wouldn't have near these issues and problems and complications and different things. It's the stuff that goes in it. So while he's making great points, the only thing I feel like is left out is the differences in meat and what's being put in them.
And I collected about 3/4 of that little canister full of this dried blood. We had this analyzed. We put an amount of this blood in some normal saline and at body temperature, and we swirled this gently for 72 hours. When we put this in a growth medium for another 72 hours and put it under a microscope, the white blood cells were dividing. We were able to get a chromosome count. There were 24 chromosomes. 23 Christ got from Mary. He got one, which was the sex determinant, or the Y, from his heavenly Father, for a total of 24. All of us have 46. We get 23 from our mother and 23 from our father. Now, this blood, folks, was still alive after almost 2,000 years.
Wow.
The people that did the test thought I had pulled a fast one of some kind on them. Never in their lives have they ever seen any dried blood that was still alive. And I collected a...
Wow, man. Wow, you know, that takes me back. One thing my mom used to say when she prayed over us, she would say, the power of the blood, the power, even when she would either begin or end a prayer, somewhere within her prayer would be the blood. She would speak of the blood. You know what I mean? And to hear that kind of gives me chills, man. Now that's powerful. That gives me chills. Who is this guy that was speaking? I want to look at some more into him. I need to figure out his name and who he is, bro. But that was powerful. 2,000-year-old blood still alive. Sheesh.
This is the connection between you and your higher self. Recently, I talked about how DNA is coded. And like the director of the Human Genome Project said, your DNA is like a software. And this software has a designer. Now looking at the sequence of the sulfuric bonds, you will have 10 acids, then a bond, 5 acids, then a bond, 6 acids, then a bond, 5 acids, then a bond, and they keep on repeating. 10, 5, 6, 5, 10, 5, 6, 5. Billions of times in your body. You can't get out of these numbers. Watch this. And we know that 10, 5, 6, 5 is Yod, Hey, Wah, Hey. And that's the exact numerical value. Watch this. Now this is the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Wah, Zayin, Het. Pay attention to the number system. This ain't nothing spooky. Watch this. Now, if you ever read Psalms 119 before, then you'll know that King Dawid wrote it in the sequence of Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet the whole way, showing you how the alphabet is still a numerical system. This same system of Yod, Hey, Wah, Hey found in your DNA. Not only your DNA, but watch this. Some of the most basic elements of life, you got hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. But let's focus on them four. Once again, look at this. Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen. When you look at the atomic mass of all of those basic elements, the same elements that make up life, you again will see Yahoo written in these elements. But we're going to get more into that math a little bit later, but stay with me. Sing unto Elohim, sing praises to his Shemkah. Extol him that ride upon the Shemayim by his Shemkah, Jah. Y'all know ain't no J in the Hebrew letter or pronunciation. It will be Yah. The same name that we see in our DNA and we can see in nature, but stay with me. Now let's listen for Yah in nature. Now when a baby is born and it come through the matrix, first thing you hear it hollers, Yah, Yah. When the martial artist is trying to execute a move or activate chi, Yah. You hear the cowboys, Hi-yah. And the famous chant of the Native Americans, Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Oh yeah, and can't forget the sounds of the original man, Kumbaya. But we'll get more into that Kumbaya in another video. And with every inhale and exhale, you hear Yahweh. So no matter what your ideology is, your religion is, your body, nature, the cosmos always come back to the Hebrew Yahweh. Yo, hey, wah, hey, yo, hey, wah, hey. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah and to the house of the Elohim of Yaakov. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. See, every nation gonna come to inquire of this knowledge. And this is the knowledge of the law that was written in the earth and into your body and into nature. But it was given to a group of people to distribute out to the nations. And this is the law leading to the tree of life. But hey, I can't say too much. I don't want to cast my pearls to swine. Stay tuned and tap in with me. My Instagram link is in my bio.
Yo, I love when somebody's able to take something, right, and put together and draw it in and tie everything together, give you backstory, give you reason why this stuff is tied together and everything. The way he just put that together was masterful, man. Masterful. Sheesh, bro. I'll never be able to hear those sounds, those words again without relating back to this and wondering, you know what I mean? Now, of course, I would expect everyone to follow up, maybe follow this gentleman here and see if he has some more videos breaking this stuff down, tying it together. That's interesting content right there, man. I've never heard nobody tie that like that or put that in that way with all different human races, man. That's interesting, bro. Like I said, this would be something that I would definitely, like my mom was she was heavily into, like at the point of becoming a Bible scholar, right? So me hearing something like this, I would immediately take that and run to her and sit down and pick her brain and ask her. And if she didn't know, she knew who to contact. And we could have these type of discussions like that. So I missed that, being able to that, because this would definitely be something I would run, grab the phone, and ask her about. That's interesting.
Stop scrolling. Give me about 45 seconds of your time. Have you ever wondered why NASA is now coming out with news articles saying that they're hiring priests to prepare humans for alien contact, and why scientists want to send 335 million seed, sperm, and egg samples to the moon, and why technology developers want to create AI gods? Those are real news articles. And before I continue, I want you to really pause and think about it real quick. All right, are you back? Jesus said, as in the days of Noah, so it'll be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Point number one, what people know as aliens, some are hybrids, others are angelic, which consists of fallen angels and of course God's angels. People just call them aliens. Number two, we're going to talk about the fallen angels. NASA is preparing to connect people to these fallen angels. They got a priest to do it. The fact they want to take our reproductive system to space. While Jesus said, as in the days of Noah, so it'll be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man, and in Noah's day, fallen angels used the human reproductive system to create hybrids, Genesis 6. Think about that. Follow for more. Stop scrolling. Give me about 45 seconds.
In the words of my mom, she would always say, it's going down just as the Bible said. Just as the Bible said. And she could always point to a scripture, passage, chapter in the Bible that related to what's going on. You know what I mean? What's going on? So when you think about what scientists or what the government is doing, you know what I mean, or what NASA is doing, and all the political and wars and everything that's happening right now that's going down and the agendas, pick up the Bible and check out the Bible and find the passage that talks about things like this going down. It's interesting. It's interesting, man. We have to remember, bro, we just don't be deceived. Do not be deceived by a lot of things that's going on, by a lot of stuff they try to tell you. Be smarter than all the agendas.
The moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, a cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you are proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. Because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. The soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is far less than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only 1,000th part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high under conventional theories instead of sometimes 14 feet. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws has to be evolved. the moon is not a piece of rock.
This is what a lot of people hang on to, that who believe that the moon is either just a light, or, you know what I mean, that the earth is flat, or the moon landing was not real. These are some of the things they state. Moon is plasma. Nobody's ever really landed on there. It's not possible. That this lends support to their theories and everything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know how they're gonna have to prove it, how they're gonna convince people. But trust me, they working hard to try to prove it, get back to that point, and really, really prove it. With this day and age and technology, when they do it again, they're going to do it to where it's undeniable this time around. There won't be no way to deny it, and people will still deny it, of course, but it'll be hard to disprove.
The book of Enoch that the Catholic Church removed from the Bible in 1611. That basically tells you about the spiritual structures that are on the planet. It gives you the history of the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, the fallen angels, all of it, including some of the extraterrestrial technology that humanity was using.
At this point, it shouldn't come as a surprise at what the Catholic Church has been doing behind our backs, and how so little we know it has done. Do you think what is being said is credible? Put your ideas below. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Now, the Sumerians wrote all about this, and we're told it's fantasy. It's absolute history. The Chaldeans, a lot of which we don't have because it's all been hidden, all these things that we do today have been around for 25, 35,000 years. It's just that what happens is when humanity gets to a place where we're ready to break free from the controllers, and what they do is they hit us with fear. They will create a scenario which puts us into a space of fear, and what that does is that it drops our frequencies back down.
Sounds like resets, don't it? It doesn't matter what we do or what type of information we're researching, we always tend to find ourselves back at a point where we're talking about resets. Interesting, right? Whether we're talking about simulation theory, whether we're living in a simulation and things get out of control or it starts glitching and different things like that, and you got to get the program back in order, you hit the reset. If you're talking about ancient civilizations back in time and they got so advanced to the point to where things went wrong and all this, that, and the third, there came a reset. Like, and it also brings me back to the question of why were these books removed from the Bible? Is it because of the truth it contains? Why? It always brings me back to that question. So I'm in search of the why. The why does these did these get removed?
I believe the Bible is talking about what's going on right now.
Say more.
So you look at this, and it's an apple with a bite out of it. What does that remind you of? The Genesis.
Genesis.
What do you think about technology does, and especially with social media, right? A bite of the apple, right? So think of the Genesis story, Adam and Eve. They took a bite out of the fruit of forbidden knowledge, and what happened? They
became farther from God.
They came from farther from God. They got banished from the garden. In addition to that, they developed an ego, a self-awareness. So you know what that parallel is too? Is technology and Apple, right? So check this out. What does social media do to our society?
It does divides us, makes us, like, generally speaking, more depressed and farther from God.
True, but in addition to that, it's creating an egotistical, narcissistic society through social media, Instagram. Everyone's taking pictures. It's something no one's connected anymore, right? But in addition to that, what does technology do? It keeps you inside. It keeps you away from nature, reconnecting with God, which is exactly what happened to Adam and Eve when they took a bite of the forbidden fruit of knowledge.
Y'all think people ain't woke? You done lost your mind. If you think people ain't up on game, they not paying attention, they're not studying, they're not reading, they're not up on things. Look at the way he just broke that down, bro. With more wisdom than most people. Now, it's up to you as whether or not you believe or you fact check or you figure it out. But you can tell he's wide awake on what's going on and paying attention. You're not just going to get over on him. Like, that's all I strive to be, is a person to where if you tell me something, I can look it up, I can verify it for myself, and I can make my own opinion. Because I'm ultimately responsible for me. So I make my decisions. I decide on what I believe or what I feel is right, wrong, or whatever. I have to make that decision and live with that decision. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was kicking some knowledge right there. He was definitely in his bag when it comes to that and how he tied everything in, bro. I don't know what to believe anymore. I see something like that, I could think CGI. I see something like that, I could think Project Bluebeam. I see something like that. All right, was it a glitch in the simulation? Something just happened? They hit a button or something? Like, I don't know what to believe anymore when it comes to stuff like that, bro. Do you think this was a real angel? I don't know. I don't know. Listen, man, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know what you thought about this video and how you feel. Put it in the comment section and leave a like on your way out, man. It's your boy L. Question everything and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.